Hi, baby. I know we didn't get much time to talk about the chicken stuff, so I thought I'd do a quick video on how I cut it up. So while I'm in the desert board in Wyoming and you need more chicken, you can see how I've done it and do it yourself. As a quick note, I've got the camera set up here basically where the pegmatite punch big 3-gallon jug was, and every time I walk around behind the camera I am close to the back of the cabinets above the stove and the spice cupboard here. And I've noticed that those cabinets are falling off the wall. They're pulled out about 1/4 inch at the top. So guess what I get to do when I get home? I get to reinforce these cabinets. That said, don't put anything in them because I think they'll be okay till I get back, but I don't want to chance it. Crappy stuff. Sorry. I love you. I'm going to miss you so much. Pretty rock! Okay, let's open this sucker up here. Alright. Alright, so these crazy big breasts. You can see this little line of fat right here. And when you flip it over, you can definitely see a delineation essentially. So what I do is I come right along that and cut away from the big part of the breast and just pull that right off like that. Little nid bits on the ends and stuff I trim off because if you don't they're going to burn. So you can see here this is so much thinner than it is up here, and some of these, this part will be that big around. So I kind of flatten it out and come back here and place my knife right here on the thinner spot, and that's you texting me over there. And I just kind of push my knife into it, put my hand over the top, and just thin it out. Now this is still a big piece. You're looking for 5 ounces or so. So just slice that right in half. And so each one of these will be about that. So here's 3 pieces. It'll be about what you need. This is a little smaller, but you can throw a couple of them together. You can trim this fat off right here on the end. Do this right. Trying to work upside down and backwards, it's just not safe. Anyway, these little pieces we want to trim them off because otherwise they'll burn, and you don't want that. And grilling, of course, is the best way because anything that cooks off of these, namely the fat, is going to drip away. And of course, nothing beats the grilled flavor. Trim that fat off. Trim this little fat off. Now there's a good piece of meat right here that I trim off the trimmings. You don't have to do that if you don't want to. You can see this one's quite a bit bigger than that one was. We come over here, you can really see the division here between the tender and the breast. If I pull that off. Now that's probably a proper sized portion for what you're wanting. Here's some more fat we can trim. When you're trimming fat, it's best to use the heel of the knife. You come in here and just place it, it'll peel it right off essentially. Alright, now place the blade on the tail of the breast here, just pull it through. Then there's a piece, and there's 2 more pieces. So out of each one of these you're getting 3.5, we'll call it, portions, 4 pieces. So that should work pretty well. I mean, this ended up being it was $13.49, I think it was, and wow, this one's just going to fight us all the way. $13.49, and we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I mean that should give you 35 servings basically out of what we got here. So just cut off the little niblets. I don't know what they're actually called. I call them niblets because this is what Benson and I eat when we're at the grill. That's what we nibble on. And you can put them in a pile. I mean, they're perfectly fine. You could save them, throw in soup or something later if you didn't want to grill them. I just throw them on the grill for our, demand snacks while we're cooking for you. There's another one of the tenders. Place your hand here, place the knife down, move the hand up. You just want to keep this basically even. That's what you want to do there. That one got a little thin, but it's hard to film and cook at the same time. So cut off the goodies, put it in that pile, flip it over. Now this one's a little harder to detect. It's also smaller, but you can see it right here. You can just slice it right off. And this cooks at a different rate. This is the part that's actually closest to the thigh, and so it's going to cook a little faster. So it's kind of nice to be able to pull it off and cook the different portions of your meat, you know, the lengths of time that they need to be cooked. If you like trying to cook a wing and a breast the same amount of time, obviously, you know, they've got different fat contents. They're just going to cook differently. And I'm just kind of mumbling along here. You're probably not going to watch half of this, so. Yeah, these are getting a little thin, so I need to be more careful with it. Alright, well, here they are. I put them in 2 separate bags so we didn't get things too overfull. I just asked you about seasonings. You said you didn't know if you could have any. What kind of diet is it are you on that doesn't allow you to have flavor? Anyway, so I've done a little math between the time of cutting this up and whatnot. We ended up with 41 pieces. So, like I said, right around 35 servings. Some are a little smaller than others. You may not want to do the niblets. They are good for fajitas, so you can put a little taco seasoning in them. So here's the math I came up with. We paid $1.88 a pound for 7.42 pounds. I didn't pull off much fat at all. A little bit. Probably the 2, so probably 7.4 pounds. And that came out to $13.95 for the total. I just called Fairway to see what their going price was on their super economy chicken. And it's $3.79, which for 7.42 pounds would be $28.12, meaning we saved $14.17. We only paid $13.95, so we saved more than we paid. So that's our first big savings with the Sam's Club, so it's totally paid for itself. With the 35 servings, I took the $13.95 divided by the 35 servings and came up with 39.8 cents per serving. So about 40 cents per serving, and depending on what else you put, you could probably eat for around $1 a meal. So it's been a lot of fun. Also, I love you. Pretty rock!